We're here at Pain Relief and Physical Therapy in Havertown, Pennsylvania, going over the kettlebell swing. So you're going to start by having the kettlebell a little bit out in front of the body. Alright, so you can get into a good hip hinge position and grasp the kettlebell. Alright, so from this angle it's kind of hard to see. You just want to make sure that the spine is in a pretty straight line going from head down to the tailbone there. Alright, so you don't want to have a round in your spine. You want your knees to be pretty well tracked over the feet here. Alright, so you're going to feel like your arches are actually lifting. Big toe stays down, and then the inner arches right in there and in there are lifting up off the ground. Alright, so you're stable on the tip of the big toe and the outer edge of the foot. Alright, and then the first movement's going to be an aggressive swing between your leg, almost like if you're familiar with football, you're hiking a football, and the forearms or wrists are going to touch the upper part of your thigh. So it's a straight hip hinge, straight line from the back of the head down to the tailbone. From there you're coming up, you're driving through the hips, so the arms are just going for a ride. You're not pulling with your arms, and they're going to pop right at the chest level there and just kind of hold the belt for a second. You should have your glutes firing, your buttocks tightening, and your belly, so there, and your butt at the same time as you drive your feet down through the ground at the top. Alright, so you can either do a strong exhale on the way up and then an inhale on the way down, which I'm doing in this video, or you can do it the opposite, where you inhale on the way up, exhale on the way down. You can do it either way, just make sure you're breathing one breath with each motion. Okay. Go a little faster, you can see that in full speed. So I'm exhaling with every one here. The knees go out as the bell comes between the legs. You do not want to slow the bell down. If anything, you want to increase the speed, which makes a pendulum motion. So from here, from the profile, you can get a better view, is ear in line with the hip, straight line there. Bell is back between the legs. Forearms are touching high up on the thighs, and you're loading tension into these hamstrings here. So the knees aren't migrating forward. Shins are staying pretty well vertical. Alright, so now I'm loading my springs so that I can get more pop coming through, and then as the bell comes through, glutes are going to fire, abs are going to tighten at the same time. Alright, so you can think of your glutes or your buttocks as your engine driving the hips into extension, and your abdominals or your core as your brake, so that you don't overextend into a spinal position back that way. You want to finish always with these straight lines. Okay, and the bell's going to stop about chest level in this case. Consider this a Russian kettlebell swing, and then on the way down you push it back down between the legs. Alright, and then you return back to this hip hinge position. And then back up, and that's the last one we're doing there. Alright, so you can watch that again from the side with a little bit more speed. Let's rewind. A little bit more speed. Okay. One more time. And the glutes are the hips are going to extend by tightening the buttocks, which helps to protect the knees. Alright, so the kettlebell swing looks like a pretty intense exercise because there's a lot of velocity to it. But once you learn the proper technique, it's very, very beneficial because it strengthens the whole posterior chain, which is buttocks, hamstrings, lower back, but in a very stable way. So not in a way that would be compressive to the spine, and it also teaches you to stabilize the midline through higher velocity movements. So not necessarily the first thing you're going to do with someone, but I think it's worth teaching people. It's actually very helpful for the knees, helpful for the back, helpful for the hips if taught properly.